Hey everybody, here we are. This is part 50. Part 50 of our Every Man's Battle study. If you have hung on with me, man, keep going. If you have not hung on with me, come on, man. I'm putting a lot into this. Stick around with me. Let's go through this together. We are really doing something. We're really getting somewhere. Come on. I know that you gotta be feeling some kind of victory in your life, or at least the drive to want to change, okay? And you gotta have that drive to want to change, all right? So we're gonna go right into it here. This is part 4, Victory with Your Eyes. And we're starting with chapter 11. Victory with Your Eyes. Chapter 11 is Bouncing the Eyes. Bouncing the Eyes. To set up your first defense perimeter with your eyes, you want to employ the strategies of bouncing your eyes and starving your eyes, as well as the tactic of taking up a sword and a shield. Now, to this point, we've talked about that a little bit, right? We have brought that up, but now we're going to get a little bit more into it. Let's first consider bouncing. Bouncing your eyes. You can win this battle by training your eyes to bounce away from sights of pretty women and sensual images. If you bounce your eyes for 6 weeks, you can win this war. Not that difficult. Unless you start doing it, you start trying it, you realize quickly how much it's a habit that you do it, and you're not doing it intentionally even. It has become such a habit ingrained in your mind, in your body, that it just happens. It is almost completely unavoidable even, especially when you start trying. Do it. Try it. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Everything to gain in your spiritual walk with God, in your walk with, if you're married, in your walk with your wife. Come on. There is something powerful to this. Just try and do it. The problem is that your eyes have always bounced towards the sexual, and you've made no attempt to end this habit. To combat it, you need to build a reflex action by training your eyes to immediately bounce away from the sexual, like the jerk of your hand away from a hot stove. You know what that's like, right? You've been around heat enough, certainly. You've probably gotten close to something that's hot and you pulled away real fast. You could train your eyes to do the same exact thing. Let's repeat that for emphasis. When your eyes bounce toward a woman, they must bounce away immediately. Do it. You got nothing to lose. But why must the bounce be immediate? After all, you might argue that a glance isn't the same thing as lusting. If we define lusting as staring open-mouthed until there's a pool at your feet, a pool of drool, until there's a pool of drool at your feet, then a glance isn't the same thing as lusting. But if we define lusting as any look that creates that little chemical high, that little pop, then we have something a bit more difficult to measure. This chemical high happens more quickly than you realize. You've heard me say it in several of these other videos. About a half a second. It goes from the eyes to the mind to the body in about a half a second for that chemical high to happen. Okay? In our experience, drawing the line at immediate is clean and easy. The mind and the eye is clean and easy for the mind and the eyes to understand. This line in the sand seems to work effectively. It's a cold turkey thing, right? We just say we're going to do it. We draw the line at, well, I could draw the line and say, well, lusting is this and lusting is that. And lusting is if I stare, lusting is if I stare more than 5 seconds. But the reality is still there. The reality is still there, and it's pretty simple. It takes about a half a second for that chemical hit, that pop, to hit your body. Okay? So how do we train this new bouncing reflex? For openers, the habit of what your eyes look at is no different from any other habit. Since experts say that anything done consistently for 21 days becomes a new habit, you must find some way to consistently bounce your eyes over time. Consistently bounce your eyes over time. The experts would say 21 days. I say anything you do for a month, right? About 30 days, right? Your tactics. When you start bouncing your eyes, your body will fight against you in peculiar and unexpected ways. Sexual sin has an addictive nature, and your body will not want to give up on its pleasures. You'll have to creatively respond in your quest for purity, and you do that through these logical steps. Number 1, study yourself. How and where are you attacked the most? Number 2, define your defense for each of the greatest enemies that you've identified. Define what is your defense for each of the greatest enemies that you've identified. Your first step is listing your own greatest enemies. What are the most obvious and prolific sources of sensual images apart from your wife? Where do you look most often? Where are you the weakest? From Fred, my greatest enemies. I had no problem coming up with a list of my 6 biggest areas of weakness. Number 1, lingerie advertisements. Number 2, female joggers in tight nylon shorts. That's spandex, if you're not familiar. If you're not, come on. If you want to play dumb, that's spandex. Number 3, billboards showing scantily clad women. Number 4, beer and bikini commercials. Number 5, movies rated PG-13 or higher. Oh my God, that sounds so stupid. PG-13 or look, let it say what you will, okay? If it's there and it's in front of your eyes and it provokes anything, it doesn't matter, okay? And those ratings are getting lower and lower and lower. They're already at PG. Come on, man. This stuff is in PG movies now. All right? So look, get it out of your life. Get it away from your eyes. Number 6 was receptionists with low cut or tight blouses. What are your main areas of weakness? In choosing them, remember that they must be areas from which you visually draw sexual satisfaction. Okay? Some make the mistake of choosing non-visual weaknesses for this list. For instance, Justin initially included the following on his list: showers, being at home alone, working late. Okay? We can all understand that these are troublesome. In the shower, you're nude with warm water cascading down your body. When you're home alone, no one is around to discover you. When you're working late, you feel sorry for yourself and you need comfort. Look, none of those things are probably going to change. So you've got to change the right things, which is this stuff, what your eyes see first. Such weak spots needn't be targeted. If you train your eyes to bounce and eliminate the visual stimuli with no food for the mental fantasies or the mental fancies, the sexual fever that draws your mind to sin in those situations will be broken. These situations will lose their power naturally. Okay, before I go on, let me talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about intermittent fasting, okay? In the last video, I said we're not talking about intermittent fasting. Let's talk about that for a second. When you start intermittent fasting, your body immediately starts craving certain foods at certain times of the day, all right? It is hard to do it. It is hard to do it, much less a real fast that is prayerful, that is powerful. Intermittent fasting is easy in comparison, and yet your body fights you on it. The same thing happens when you start to starve your eyes. When you start to train your eyes to bounce, it'll be very difficult to do. But you can do it. You do have the power to do it. You do have the power to do it, and we'll do it together, okay? So listen, repost this video. Go back to square one, start all over. If you're just starting in this video, go back to the first video, okay? And I'll see you guys in the comments.